Welcome to another day here at the model table. And we have just a very little bit left to do here in step 51. We got, I think there's another plastic part, there's a photo etch ladder, we got, these little things here that I didn't want to accidentally bend. Well, apparently there has to be something go on the ends of those little tiny spider legs. We'll be doing that today, all being well. But before I get going here, first thing this morning I cranked up my computer and I looked at my social media, and here was a selfie taken by one of the viewers. Yeah, thanks, Peter. Anyway, it's amazing. Here I am, up here in Winnipeg, and Peter is way down under in Sydney, Australia, but with the marvels of the internet and YouTube and what have you, he may as well be my neighbor next door. And, oh my goodness, there's Kenny with his dog again. Yeah, that was not planned. It just happened. Anyhow, yeah, so, Peter, cheers back at you. Not as good as Starbucks, but pretty good. Okay, speaking of Starbucks, now I want to relate a little true story to you here. When I used to go and visit my mother in Kelowna, Kelowna's a little city here in Canada. It's in the summertime, it's quite a tourist area. And I used to walk down to the lake from my mother's place quite often. I did it actually hundreds of times over the many years I went there. And you would walk past Starbucks on Bernard Avenue. And just past Starbucks, there was another coffee shop. I think it was called Blends, Blends, or something like that. But excuse me. But what Blends used to do is they would exhaust the smell of the coffee outside on across the sidewalk. Then you'd have to walk through this wonderful aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Well, I'll tell you, it was pretty hard not to go into Blends because of the smell of the coffee. Anyway, so what made me think of that? I don't know. Anyway, it must have been because we were talking about Starbucks. Now, what are we doing here? Yesterday, when I was working with this thing, I bent it down and it broke. It's the first one I've had break like that. And what I want to mention is that when I bought these, they came in a package of 100. And at the time I thought, maybe I should buy 2 packages. In other words, 200. Well, I'm glad I didn't, because these things are lasting pretty good. I thought that they would plug up, but they don't. Well, yeah, they do, but I mean, not that bad. I mean, how long ago was it I bought these? It must be well over a year ago. Yeah, I just thought I'd pass that on. And that they were not expensive. I think they were on Amazon. Almost everything I get lately is on Amazon. So, okay, let's check this out here. Okay, as near as I can tell, everything that we have to do from now on this module is on the other side. Obviously, this is upside down. I do believe we are completely done with the underside of this. If you remember, I just want to. It's going to be hard to grab hold of here to pull it off of the blue tack. I don't want to accidentally be see what's going to come loose here first. The double-sided tape or the blue tack? Obviously the double-sided tape. Okay. Now, you know, it could be that I put it on there way harder than I needed to. Okay, we got rid of that. You know, I'm just going to carefully do this off camera now. I don't want to be trying to hold it so that you can see it and then consequently be bending stuff. Yeah, once again I'm thinking while I'm working. That can be dangerous. Okay, I did get it, and so far we haven't bent anything. I'm just thinking that maybe it might be a good idea to mount it back in the tin here again. But then how are we going to get onto the ends of these things? Okay, how's this going to fit? I think we'll work on it like this for a while. Now, I am glad that you cannot see how silly I feel right now, because I've just spent the last few minutes trying to find the second A4. In other words, it's this little thing right here. I know it's upside down, but so we got, look, I thought we needed 2 photo etch A4s. But what they're showing here is that this one here gets bent into this shape and then it gets dropped down on the top there. So we only need 1. But what I want to show you is how spindly this is. More spider legs. Okay, I think we'll get our plastic parts first. We need B1. Okay, now we need B22. Okay, our B22 here, there's a piece of photo etch mounts on the top here, on this smaller diameter, and the bottom of it plugs into a hole on the top of that module that we built yesterday. And okay, there does not appear to be, let's see if I can grab hold of this somehow. Okay, let me check the monitor. Can you still see it? Well, sort of. Okay, there does not appear to be any difference in diameter of this larger section here at all. So I do believe that this piece that I'm touching right now is actually this sprue, and we can probably just, you know, get rid of it. I'm trying to do it on camera here, and that's maybe not a good idea. Okay. Anyway. Okay, I do believe we're done with the B sprue. Now we need 4 pieces that look something like this, called G6, and they go on one of our spider legs. And there's 2 more that go on the other side. Okay, excuse me. There are 4 G sprues. Each one of them has a number 6 on it. Yeah, it looks like a 9 right now because it's upside down, but this is 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and over here. Now, these are really tiny. When we flip them over, we'll be able to look at them and see that they actually have a little hole on the other side. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to it. So we're going to just cut these off. Now, I understand why it is that Trumpeter does it this way. In other words, why would they have 4 separate sprues then with instead of having all 4 pieces on one sprue? That'd be a lot easier. You just nip them off one after the other. But I believe it's because a lot of the parts that we need 4 of this or 4 of that, or maybe 8 of something, and that way they don't have one great big huge sprue. Yet on the other hand, I imagine they could. I don't know why they couldn't do it differently. I think if they thought about it, they could. But if I was smart, I'd be rich, right? Okay, let's get the macro lens back on. We'll flip one of these sprues over, and we'll see if we can carefully nip one off. Okay, now you should be able to see that little hole that I was talking about. And on the other side of this square tab is a 6. Now I'm going to trim well back, cut well back, and we'll carefully trim this off later. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead now and get the other 3 pieces the same way. Okay, I just want to show you here that I changed my mind, and the reason being is that when I nipped it like this, there's not very much to hold on to. In other words, when I nip this part off, I got to hang on to it by this, whereas now what I can do is I think I can hold that with my fingers, and then carefully try and cut this piece from this instead of this from this. You know what I mean? Just more to hang on to. Okay, cutting our number 6s off of the 3 larger pieces was sure a lot easier than trying to cut this little piece off of the number 6. Now, I don't know if I should try and trim the flashing off of these or not. I'm just afraid I might make them look worse than they already do. You can see there is the remnants of sprue on the ends, but and you can actually see flashing along that edge there. At least I can see it. I'm sure you can. I think I'm gonna try and just fasten them on the way they are. Once again, sort of thinking out loud here. Now, I know that there are probably people wondering, am I still planning on turning a pen out of the pieces of sprue that we're saving here? Well, the answer to that is yes, it is. Except that I don't want to get involved in pen turning right now. I want to try and get, at least get the hood done. Maybe when we're, get to the place where we're going to start the Rodney, maybe we'll take a break and cut these all up into little tiny pieces and then do what it is that I'm planning to do with them. I'm not going to melt them down. I'm going to cut them into little chips and then blend them with 2-part epoxy. It's something that I've done before. Those of you who have watched my pen turning videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway. Okay. It's only about 9 minutes to 2 right now, and I do have time to keep going. However, I'm down to my last water pill. Yeah. And as much as I hate to do it, I'm going to have to run an errand. I don't think I've driven the car since I went to get a haircut, and that was, my goodness, how long ago? Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow, and we'll get the photo etch.